When you think about gaming laptops, it's usually accompanied with a high price tag to match. After all, performance is really vital for gaming, and the more performance you want, the more it will cost, obviously. But there is a sweet spot. Today we are taking a look at the Dell G5, and I'm just gonna preface this right off the bat. This is kind of a weird laptop, and it's a laptop that would only make sense if you can get a really good deal out of it. Well, let's talk about this. Well, for starters, I do have to mention that if you're even somewhat interested in this laptop, that means you are interested in looking at past generation hardware. Because, let's face it, this laptop isn't anything new. Intel 11th Gen H processors and Nvidia RTX 3000 series for laptops are pretty much entering the market right now. This laptop is still rocking an Intel Core i7-10750H, 8GB of RAM, and Nvidia GeForce GTX 1650 Ti as well as a 512GB NVMe SSD. This is the base configuration for the Dell G5 here in Singapore, and it will set you back about 1700 Singapore dollars. But if you're in the US, it can get way lesser than that if you opt for the Intel Core i5 and half the amount of SSD storage, and that configuration will set you back about 800 US dollars. Wherever you might be, however, the base configuration only comes with 8GB of RAM, and that's really little for this day and age. It is, however, dual channel, surprisingly, and you can easily upgrade it by yourself should you want to. But enough about the specs. This is a gaming laptop, so let's dive in and look at some of our favorite few games and see how this performs. Across the board, playing at 1080p high settings, you will get a really enjoyable gaming experience, be it esports titles like CSGO and Apex, or more demanding titles like Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Temperature-wise, the GPU side of things is really great, with that GTX 1650 Ti barely hitting 80 degrees Celsius at any point in time. The CPU, however, is definitely more toasty, usually hovering around 90 degrees Celsius. This was all tested using the high performance mode available on the G5, which can be easily toggled using the F7 key. As you can tell, this laptop performs really similarly with any other laptop that has the same configuration. That Intel Core i7-10750H is still a really great chip, and the GTX 1650 Ti, while definitely not a top-of-the-line GeForce graphics card, is still going to be plenty powerful for most of you out there. The 15.6-inch 1080p IPS display, while definitely isn't going to win you any awards, is still going to provide you a decent visual experience as well. But that's really where all the good things end. Because honestly, everything else is kind of subpar. First up, the design. It's not really awe-inspiring in my opinion. It's got a rather chunky profile, really thick bezels for the display, and that Interstellar-esque finish on that lid is a miss for me. If this laptop had came out back in 2017 or so, I guess it would have been fine, but by 2020 or 2021 standards, this really isn't great. Next is the keyboard and trackpad. Personally, I would rather not have the numpad, but as far as the typing experience goes, it's still not bad. What I definitely do not like, however, is the placement of the trackpad. It's far too much to the left. Just placing my hand on the WASD cluster would have half my palm naturally be resting on the trackpad. To even play games without any accidental movement, I had to ensure that the trackpad is off when the mouse is attached. Next are the ports. You do get quite the amount, including an SD card reader, which is quite a nice touch. But 2 out of the 4 USB ports in total is standard USB 2.0. Yep, you heard that right. USB 2.0 in this day and age. And well, to be fair, there are still laptops that feature USB 2.0, but usually it's just one port. And if it's just one port, I can kind of close one eye. But here, it's 2 ports. 2 out of 4. That's kind of pushing it. Now thus far, all that I've shared is kind of a downer, and I kind of admit, but you have to take a look at this factually. Honestly, I say all of that with good reason, and that's because that in this category of laptops, this segment, competition is rather fierce. For about the same price of 1700 Singapore dollars, you can get the TUF Gaming A15 from ASUS, which has almost the exact same specifications but with a 144Hz display and twice the amount of SSD storage. Or you can go for the MSI GL65 Leopard with the exact same specifications and yet again a 144Hz display and a much more powerful port selection. Not to mention that these two laptops look far more modern by today's standards. And there are many more options out there from Acer, Gigabyte, and not to mention your OEM customs. So with all that said, should you even still be looking at this laptop? Well, let's put it this way. Only consider this laptop if you are able to get a really good price for it, say about 1300 Singapore dollars or about 900 US dollars. Because any more than that, and you have much better options elsewhere. It's an okay laptop. It's not great, not bad, it's just okay. Anyways, those are our thoughts on the Dell G5 5500 model with the base configuration. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comment section down below. If there are affiliate links in the description, do check them out. And if you do, thanks for your support. Don't forget to subscribe to us, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Till the next one, see ya!